Hi, my name is Anna Flynn, and I will be reading for Irene and Mrs. Drebber.
Miss Irene Adler, I presume.
Miss Sherlock Holmes. Hello, gorgeous. And Joan Watson, the not a doctor. Ladies, I have heard so much about you.
From whom?
Tis a nice place you have here, gals. It's a real Laverne and Shirley go to hell aesthetic.
Thank you, Mrs. Adler. What? No, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, Miss Holmes. And you may call me Irene.
Listen, Irene, you have a lot of chutzpah coming in here and making snarky comments. We can't afford an interior designer, okay? We don't make our own money the hard way.
That's true. For me, it is always hard.
Ew, you are vulgar.
Men like it. Women too. Do you like it, Sherlock?
I don't know. Oh, no!
What exactly is this dynamic, ladies?
What do you mean?
What's your deal?
What? Watson is my assistant. I'm not. Holmes is my mentor. No, she's not. She is my roommate. We are roommates.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you needn't be embarrassed to have a mentor, Watson. I had one once upon a time. She is much missed.
Holmes is not my mentor. And whatever, I am nobody's assistant. I went to medical school, FYI, and I graduated first in my class.
Oh, and now you are not a doctor. Oh, my, those student loans must sting.
Miss Adler, may I...
Oh, you, Sherlock, may do anything you like.
May I ask how much it would cost Elliot Monk for you to hand over this tape?
Oh, I'm not in it for the money, honey. No, I do just fine. No, this is about something else. Now, I regret to inform you, ladies, that Elliot intends to turn over a new leaf by launching a campaign to buy himself a powerful Senate seat back in your good old US of A.
Oh!
And what's more, he's rebranding as a champion of family values. If he chooses to announce his candidacy, I will choose to release the footage. You see, unlike Elliot, I am pro whatever choice.
Exactly what on this frickin' tape?
Well, let's just say I really have him over a barrel. He runs, I run the tapes.
So why exactly have you come here, Miss Adler?
To warn you, Sherlock. Watch out. A bigger game is afoot. And you couldn't sniff out my secrets if you tried.
Trust me, Mrs. Adler. If I wanted to, I could.
I think you want to.
I think you want me to want to.
I think you want me to want you to
What
want
is
me
going
to...
on?
Pipe down, baby. The adults are talking.
Lady, you are really... Oh,
What a way with words.
You...
Devastating. Well, I must run, gals. Cosmos and mani-pedi soon, yeah? Oh, Holmes, one last thing. Do you happen to know the work of Sun Tzu?
What? By heart, of course. Seriously, what?
Preparation may lie within our hands, but defeat of the enemy is from the enemy himself.
What the frig? It is the art of war, Watson.
And what an artist you are, Sherlock. But you're not the only one with clever ideas. Ta-ta!
You are here, I am sure. What about your husband's ring?
On the news, they said it had been stolen and found. Who could have taken it? Does you think Joe didn't commit suicide at all?
The case is still open.
May I see it? It's all I have left of him now.
Oh.
School sweethearts, Joe and I were married 30 odd years.
Mrs. Drebber, I am just so sorry for your loss. Watson, why don't you get her some tea?
I beg your pardon, my dear, for the fuss. I just can't believe that he's truly gone.
Mrs. Drebber, if you will please just stop your noisy moisture makings. Sherlock, I am happy to give you what you are owed. Behold, Mr. Drebber's ring, and you shall get it. If you'll just let me see. Holmes, what are you doing to the little old lady? What are you doing to her?
Oh, my bones.
30 years of marriage, you say, and yet your ring and his ring do not seem to match. My God, Holmes, are you implying that she is an imposter?
I am Lucy Drebber, 3 decades Joe's wife.
And your ring, Mrs. Drebber, is tarnished and dull, as one might expect after such a long-standing partnership. But Mrs. Drebber's is shiny, as if it had been wiped clean. I had this ring examined closely by forensics. Technology these days, they can sniff out even the slightest trace of evidence, and they found a fingerprint smudged upon the inside of Joe Drebber's ring. Can you guess whose?
Oh, I must have touched his hand a dozen times every day.
But this particular fingerprint was smudged in blood. But what about the red-headed anarchist? Here is your red herring caught red-handed. Lestrade, open the door. Mrs. Drebber, sit and tell us when you finally had enough.
Decades and decades I gave that man. Years of cooking his breakfast, ironing his shirts, making his bed, all just so. Joe wanted his wife at home. I cut myself off from the world for the love of him. I always thought he could see all that I had given up.
Did you find the red hairs?
I found the texts he sent to her, that red-headed professional. Prices, negotiations, acts. He didn't even try to hide the phone. Thought I would never catch on. He was so sure there were no surprises left in me.
But there were.
Yeah, I dressed myself up to the nines. Threw on a red wig, knew he'd like that, didn't I? Coloured contacts, loads of makeup. Called his dispatch for a ride. I feared he'd recognise me right off, but he never did. Not when I got in the cab, not when I started flirting with him, not even when I suggested a hotel. He knew right where to go. How many women had he taken there? It was raining, and he carried me into the room like a bridegroom, bringing me across the threshold. He laid me on the bed, looked me straight in my eye. Kept thinking at any moment, surely, after all these years, it's me. It's me, Joe. You see me. See me, but all he ever saw was what he wanted. He unzipped his fly, and I whipped off the wig. It was his heart, Inspector Holmes. His heart was never good.
And then?
Well, I panicked. Did you ever see The Sopranos? You know, when they chop up the... Oh, but it's not so easy in real life. I made such a mess. I had to make it look like self-harm.
You destroyed his phone to get rid of the text, shoved his ring back upon his finger. He had taken it off.
Well, you can see why I was angry. But I just wanted to scare him, Inspector. Show him who I really was.
Ah, as you showed the other woman. I said the fingerprint on the ring was smudged in blood. I did not say whose. She died first, didn't she, Mrs. Drebber?
A red-headed tart had it coming. I just don't know how I left my fingerprint. I was so careful to wipe it clean.
Oh, there were never any fingerprints on this ring, let alone in the first victim's blood.
But what? But you can't mislead a suspect into confession.
Sure I can. I am not the police.
What?
I am a detective consultant.
What?
I lied! Well, I hypothesized, which is almost a lie.
Oh God. Oh God, what have I done? Oh no.